What's going on, guys? This is Aaron from Departures Capital. We're here with the co-founder, CEO, and director of HempFusion, Dr. Jason Mitchell. Nice to have you back, Jason. How are you doing today?
I'm doing really good, Aaron. How are you?
Doing great. So, let's start by giving our viewers an update on the company and everything you guys have been up to since we last spoke.
Well, as you know, we've been quite busy this summer. Not only did we just end Q2 and did our earnings call this morning, and I'm excited to share a little bit about that today with you as well. But we have officially brought to a close our acquisitions of Sagely Naturals and Apothecana, and have already begun the integration process and just really working towards a very exciting time between now and the end of the year. So pretty cool. Sorry about that. I'm sure we're gonna have
That's okay.
hey, these days of the working from home reality, you just kind of have to take it with kids and family and stuff. So
It's okay. It's a little bit more of a personal touch. So the company just reported earnings, and you guys have made a lot of progress since last quarter. Can you tell us more about this?
absolutely. It was one of the things that at the end of Q1, I said, I wanted to be able to get right to Q2 earnings, because Q1 was like that 1% growth, and nobody's excited about 1% growth. But if they realized how hard it was to get things rolling in the right direction, in a post-pandemic type recovery state, that's very difficult, right? With retail coming back to a normal reality. But we're really proud to say that everything that we've been executing over the last year and a half is starting to come to fruition. It's actually quite spectacular. Just to be very clear, we reported a 25% increase in net revenue over Q1 of this year, but even more importantly, an 84% increase in net revenue over the same period a year ago, Q2 2020. And not only that, we had a 268% increase in our total net revenues for our direct-to-consumer and platform-based online purchasing. So we're just really excited about the progress. And these are things that, as a part of our strategy, our 5-channel strategy plus international, that we've been moving very incrementally but strategically towards. Now, even our B2B business has grown 22% over last quarter and 55% over the same period a year ago. So it's not like it's all moving to online. See, what I've told everybody since the very beginning is that, one, you should expect incremental growth until we get regulatory clarity from the FDA. But this is more than incremental. But not only are we growing online, we're also growing our base wholesale business. That's such a key aspect of this, because so many people can just give the number and say we're growing. We're growing in all aspects of our business, which is spectacular. We're very, very happy and proud of that.
Awesome. Love to hear it. So HempFusion has made some acquisitions this year, including Apothecana and Sagely. A lot of us are curious how these companies integrate into the business and what's next for the company.
Absolutely. So a lot of times when an acquisition occurs, people automatically assume, especially in the public market sphere, at least what I read and what I do my research, is that they're assuming a backfill of a lack of revenue, or trying to build a bigger company as opposed to trying to focus on the organic fundamentals. Neither one of those are the case. Organic fundamentals drive everything here. So you have to have a strategy. About the end of October, beginning of November last year, when we started just talking with both Apothecana and Sagely Naturals, we had a plan. And the plan is that we wanted to have as wide of a demographic as possible that we could actually market products to, both CBD and non-CBD. But very importantly, we wanted to make sure that they also had at least a robust, or heading in the direction of a robust digital online type business as a direct to consumer. Interestingly enough, Sagely Naturals appeals to primarily women. I would say over 80% of their customers are women. And so as a result of that, the female demographic is so key, because while they only represent about 48% of the purchases now in the CBD sphere, we believe that in the near future, it could be as high or even higher than 80%, because they are the educated buyer. They're the ones who read labels. They're concerned about what they want, but also what they don't want in their products, such as GMOs, wheat, gluten, soy. They're more critical. They ask questions. They want quality. And when they satisfy all of these needs, it instills in them a level of trust that leads to loyalty. They are also the ones who educate their more mature and older baby boomer parents. Well, interestingly enough, Apothecana is almost entirely baby boomer focused. And so now we have this baby boomer underutilized or under-focused category of buyers that are importantly in need of supportive products. And when you mix that with what I like to call our Gillennial crossover HempFusion brand, which I mean Gen X millennial, meaning Gen X, the people trying to hold on to their youth, and the millennials that are truly youthful, they all have this interest to be active, of active lifestyles. That right there, in our humble estimation, is about 80% of the shoppers for CBD. And when you combine that with an already successful brand like Probulin on the probiotic side, you really have a quartet of companies that are truly going after the market, both in CBD and non-CBD, and able to blitz it in a way that's very, very important and access the customer with really quality product. And if you look at it from a pro forma 2020 revenue basis, the companies combined, if we were combined in 2020, we'd be just shy of 12 million in revenue. And if you look at our success rate or growth with just HempFusion and Probulin in the first half of the year, I know I told you it was about 25% over, it was 25% over quarter one, 84% over last year, same period. If you look at the first full 6 months, HempFusion and Probulin together were a 31% increase over the previous year's 6 months. If you were to take that and the pro forma revenues, you can kind of in your mind understand maybe possibly the direction we're heading. And we believe that we've got the right formula, the right team, and the integration is going well. When you couple that with an ability to reduce costs by integrating certain efficiencies such as distribution and manufacturing and other things, you have the formula for true success.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting, and hopefully you guys, get some more recognition for that. So with all the wonderful things that have been happening this year for you guys, I'm sure it must be frustrating for yourself and many of the shareholders when it comes to, the share price. So what are your thoughts on it, and, where do we go from here?
I agree with you. It is pretty frustrating. The share price is not even close to a representation of what's happening to the company. So for that, I wish I had a better answer for people to just tell them, but I would tell you that patience will rule here. For those that are patient, they're going to have big wins, in my humble opinion. And the reason why I say that is because there's still a lot of work that needs to be done, but there's some great things happening. And so by that virtue, where do we go from here? I think in the hemp CBD side, with regards to a lack of regulatory clarity, at least in the United States and in other communities like the European community, the United Kingdom, in China, it's going to require some patience to hang on and understand, is this an investment you believe is a future investment? And so as a result, be patient, because the winners are going to be patient. The ones that jump, I think, are going to lose out on those opportunities, in my humble opinion. And so that's what I tell anybody right now. Obviously, there's no guarantees in anything that we do, but we believe that we're on the right track to be the leader. We've got the perfect formula here.
Awesome. So now, Jason, you're obviously very aware of that a couple of your peers have recently had their NDINs rejected by the FDA. What are your thoughts on that? And where do you think, or when do you think, regulatory clarity will occur?
So yeah, I was really I was disappointed, but not surprised that the NDINs were rejected. And I'll tell you one primary reason. I've been in dietary supplements, food and beverage cosmetics for over 25 years. I've been dealing with, or over 23 years, excuse me. And as a result of that, I've had a lot of experience working alongside the FDA, paying attention to how they do things, especially in areas where a lack of regulatory clarity occurs. And then whenever they make a legislative move or a legal move to say, this is this, based on this law, it's really interesting. So you start learning about patterns. If I were the lawyer working for either one of these peers, I would have informed them that it's not a good idea at this point to submit an NDIN. And NDIN stands for New Dietary Ingredient Notification. And under the Food and Drug Cosmetic Act, if you're introducing something new or a substance new to be used in a dietary supplement, you got to submit an NDIN. If you want to put it in food, you got to go through the GRAS affirmation process, which is known as generally recognized as safe. And so when you go through the NDIN process, what's really important to note is that if the FDA considers what you're submitting precluded based on an investigative new drug or a new drug application that was granted, i.e. the GW Pharmaceuticals drug, they're going to immediately reject. And that was the primary rejection the FDA gave, was that CBD is sold as a drug. Therefore, they believe at the moment it cannot be sold as a dietary supplement. And they went on to say that there were some flaws in their data. And so when I look at this and I say, okay, one, I'm glad to know what their flaws are in case I have the same flaws, just kidding. We want to be able to make sure that we understand really what the FDA is interested in. But I knew ahead of time that they would reject based on that the IND preclusion, or when there is a drug on the market. There are two laws in front of Congress, HR 841, that is the Senator Schrader bill that was introduced in February. And then you have the Senator Wyden bill. It's also known as it's not Senator Schrader, it's House of Representatives Schrader, and it's called HR 841. And then Senate Bill 1698, the Senator Wyden bill. These bills both aim at legislatively adding dietary supplements to the definition, adding CBD to the definition of dietary supplements in accordance with the Food and Drug Cosmetic Act. And then the Senator Wyden bill, Senate Bill 1698, aims to add CBD to safe additive as a food or beverage as well. But anyway, as a dietary supplement side. Now, once one of these laws passes, the fact that CBD is sold as a drug would no longer be a preclusion the FDA could be rejecting an NDIN on. So by that virtue, the NDIs can now be reviewed in their real manner, meaning toxicology and all of the safety data and research and validation that has been done. Now, all of this body of work in order to submit an instrument like an NDIN takes like 3 years to put it all together if you do it correctly. We've been working on this for every bit of that. And that being said, it teaches us one thing, is that we as a community that believe in hemp need to be contacting our senators, contacting our House of Representatives, the people that represent us politically here in the United States, and encourage and push them to vote this law through. So that way we get to a point where safe products can be on the market. Now, why I say safe is because right now it's a little bit of the Wild West. The FDA says they don't think it's legal, but then they don't enforce anything either. So there are a lot of companies, most of the companies are probably putting on the market a product that isn't safe. For companies like myself that do all the testing, validation, toxicology, and everything that we need to do, safety studies and so forth, there's very few of us. I would say there are less than 12 companies that can comply with such a rule in the near future, and only a handful that can do it right away. And we happen to be one of the ones that can do it right away. We've fully authored our NDIN. We are in final stages of announcing self-GRAS. Our Noel manuscript is due to publish any day now. And the reason why I share all of this is because, one, this law solves the problem by taking away the right for the FDA to say no because it's a drug. Now it's recognized as a supplement. But two, it also provides a path to make sure the products that are on the market are safe for human consumption. This is important on so many different levels. Now, if this happens, that means the hemp industry is going to be very budding. It's going to be a budding industry, no pun. It's going to thrive. But the reality is it's going to create jobs. It's going to do things economically. Hemp is also good for the environment. Hempcrete, fibers, things of that nature. It's a really important plant beyond CBD. So there's a lot of reasons why you want to support the bill, because then it allows companies that are doing it right to submit an NDIN, go through the proper path, and have good product, safe product on the market.
Wonderful. So what's the one thing you're most excited about for HempFusion in the next 6 to 12 months?
What I'm most excited about, and it may sound totally silly, but man, we take everything so seriously all the time. I was excited that we got to launch our gummies recently, and our gummies are so delicious. I think I have them right here too. There are our gummies that are, one is loaded full of elderberry, so we can make a qualified structure function claim of immune support. And then we have our summer cherry, which is just a delicious flavor. And it just, in a time where there's stress about building an organic company, you can open up your bottle and it's just fun to take it. They're just delicious. They taste awesome. And you get all the wonderful benefits you'd expect with CBD. But then at the same time, you're having it done in a fun way. And when you look at all the data, people are really looking towards gummies. In fact, Brightfield estimated that gummies would be worth about $500 million or $500 million in the next, I don't even know the year scale, so I don't want to misquote Brightfield, but in the very near future, the gummies could represent $500 million in sales in the very near future in CBD. And so we're just excited about that. And it's what I like to be playful too. You know, product development is like my thing. I'm kind of a nerd about that.
It's nice to see you passionate about your products. That's awesome. So where's the best place for our viewers to find out more information about the company?
You can go to hempfusion.com, our investor page on the bottom, and actually get access to all the information they need. So, yeah.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Jason. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for all the updates, and I look forward to continuing to cover your story.
Thanks a lot, Aaron. You have a wonderful day. Thanks for having me.
All right, guys, that wraps up the video. Thank you so much for watching. I just wanted to say, if you do support me, the channel, and all these videos, then kindly smash that like button along with hitting the subscribe button and the bell for notifications for future videos. I did also want to say, check the disclaimer down below. This video was sponsored by the company that we are talking about today. So check the disclaimer, full disclosure, and we're out of here. Always remember, guys, Departures Capital is for information, education, and entertainment purposes only. Don't buy or sell a stock because you heard it on here. Buy or sell a stock because you've done your research, you've done your thorough due diligence, and you make your own personal investment decisions for yourself. This video is not financial advice. We'll see you guys in our next video.